Hey loves, I'm stopping by really quickly just to let you guys know about my new merchandise that I recently put out. You guys asked and I delivered. You can now pick up your Pick Me Nation t-shirts, you guys. I also have Winter is Here merchandise. And I also have Who You Want, Gotta Want You t-shirts as well. So make sure you go and support. It is the holiday times. Definitely go pick up a shirt or a mug for your mother, your fathers, your sisters, brothers, your husband, wife. Make sure you go and support. I have those shirts available now. This lady got evicted from this property that she tried to, use tenant rights to, force her way into this woman's property and thought she just was going to stay there without paying any rent, which is insane to me. And my thing is, if you ain't got no money to pay rent, just say that. Just say that. If you can't afford rent, just say that, So I want to go ahead and pull up the clip for you guys, and I want to get your thoughts on this one. So make sure you chime in the chat, but here we go.
Night, another twist in a bizarre Airbnb battle. 7 News has exclusively told you about a homeowner in Northeast DC who says a squatter has taken over her short-term rental. But that alleged squatter claims she's a tenant with rights. All new at 6 o'clock. Our Felicia Ashley is learning this isn't the first time the so-called unwanted guest has refused to leave a property.
I found court records revealing that Romero stayed in multiple properties in and around D.C. rent-free for months while they went through the eviction process.
Court records show at your previous apartment you were also getting evicted for not paying rent. And
so that wasn't for that place, it was for a previous place where something happened during COVID when everyone was not receiving payment. I'm an entrepreneur and I also have a nonprofit.
Court records show Shadija Romero faced eviction from 2 other D.C. properties before booking Roshane Douglas's Airbnb nearly a year ago. I reviewed the records with real estate attorney Rich Bianco.
Scrolling down the docket here, she knows what she's doing. So this isn't the first rodeo.
Court records show that in October 2021, she had a year lease at the Jameson at Dakota Apartments. Those owners also filed a suit against Romero. It shows she stayed months past the end of her lease and did not pay anything between May 2022 and January 2023.
Now, so this just proves that she has a history of doing this. She's just trying to, get free rent. She doesn't, and I said this before. I said when COVID happened and, people, in that situation, people weren't able to pay rent. A lot of people weren't able to go to work because, people were quarantined and stuff like that. So you couldn't go to work. So that's understandable. But I think a lot of people got used to not having to pay rent. And so then when it was time to pay rent again, people just felt entitled, like, hey, we didn't have to pay anything all this time. So now we don't want to pay rent. We can, we don't want to have to pay anything. And so a lot of people just thought that was just supposed to continue. And they got used to that. And then they started to just not pay rent and didn't think that anything was going to happen because people were seemingly getting away with that. And so I just think, once again, that shows a level of entitlement. This woman had been doing this apparently from what they're posting, and she's been getting away with it, staying free. And then until the people have to, till the people are forced to go to court to get her out of there. With this particular Airbnb situation, they were saying this one was taking trips to Jamaica. They got her out here on trips to Jamaica while she's not paying her rent and things of that nature. So it's like, how are you able to take trips and do all these things? And you're an entrepreneur and you have a nonprofit, but you can't pay rent, which is crazy to me. When they're so used to using those terms. I'm an entrepreneur, like I'm a businesswoman, I'm a boss chick, but you can't pay your bills, or you just don't want to pay your bills. Like that's irresponsible. So my thing is, I think boss chicks, people, entrepreneurs, just think that that's a term they could use to just get away with anything. Like what? Like it just make it look even worse for you to even bring up that you're an entrepreneur and you have a nonprofit, but you're not paying your rent for months and months and months. I think to the tune of 9 or 10 months she didn't pay. This particular situation, this lady was forced to take her to court. And then she got in court and lied and thought that was gonna, do something, and it didn't. But let's continue.
She also signed a legal agreement to pay the Jameson $35,000 in back rent, but she did not follow through with that agreement. She was officially evicted 8 months after she stopped paying.
I did not go to court for eviction for Ava Noma.
5 days after she was evicted from the Jameson, records show she moved into Ava Noma. She paid 1 month's rent and owes them nearly $50,000. The property tried to evict her multiple times, but there was a fire, which I confirmed with DC Fire and DMS started in her unit while she was there.
Ava Noma is the one showing that you were in the process of being evicted for paying 1 month's rent when you were there for 13.
So no, that would not be accurate.
Again, court documents show Romero filed a motion to delay the eviction, this time citing the fire and saying insurance needed to see the damage in the unit. She booked the Airbnb as she was getting evicted from that property. I found multiple tenant and landlord cases against her in and around DC when she went by a different name at the time. In addition to that, I saw at least a dozen liens against her, as well as a case claiming that she paid for a down payment for a vehicle and made no other payments after that. Now, since these discoveries, Romero has said that she is not speaking to us anymore.
Of course she don't want to speak to him because you're busted and you can't lie your way through. Let's continue.
Good afternoon, Felicia Ashley with ABC7. We are inside of the home on 20th Street that's been on the focus of this squatter versus DC homeowner battle that we've been covering. Today, the judge ordered that Shadidra Romero is not a tenant and does not have tenant rights. Therefore, the homeowners were able to essentially evict her right away without giving her a notice. The homeowners right now inside clearing out the home.
So this was her eviction. I think they did this live, which was crazy. And the thing about it is, this woman didn't intend to leave this house whatsoever. All her stuff, they had to remove all of her belongings up out of there. She was not planning on leaving. She had done this before, and thought she was going to just get away with this and live rent free and continue to take her trips and live her best life. No, they had to remove all of her stuff out there. The people in the community helped to move this stuff out, and all her stuff is on the lawn. She was not planning on getting out of there whatsoever. This is crazy though. But this is the people that, like I say, once again, who will argue you down and call you dusty. But she's the dusty one, in my opinion. You're dusty to sit here and try to mooch or leech off of somebody when not paying rent. These people have to pay bills too. Like, it's just insane to me. And that's why I say that type of behavior, that mindset is just an entitled one. You want to get what you want. You're going to do whatever you can in your power to leech off somebody and steal from people and then turn around and play victim. I'm going to play her response as well, which, once again, crying and want somebody to feel sorry for her. But it's just crazy. But let's continue. This is the eviction live, y'all.
Most of it has been cleared out. While we were here, community members who have been tracking this story, who were invested in this story, also showed up and said they wanted to help the homeowners because they feel the situation could happen to them at any time and any day. This is what the homeowners have cleared up thus far. This is everything that was inside of the home. Roshane Douglas said when coming inside, she was shocked to see how much was in here. She said to her it was clear that Mr. Romero had no plans of ever leaving. In addition to that, she said there was some damage done to the home. You can see we have one of the homeowners trying to fix the lock on the doors, as well as this lock right here. You can see the windows are still boarded up. These are boarded up from the inside. There were a lot of plants here. This is on the side. This whole wall was plants as well. You'll see some more images of what it looked like before. You can see they're also clearing out the upstairs that has a few bedrooms as well. Mr. Romero has not been back to the home today from what I can see, but I would expect that the home will be cleared out by the night. There's no light upstairs, so that's why it's gotten a little dark. We can see the rooms. I'm going to head back down so you can see some light, but some of the community members and family members that came to help the homeowners clear out the home. Now, in addition to that ruling, the judge said the homeowners will be entitled to Romero paying their attorney fees, paying for any fees from the home, as well as loss of pay. That's if the homeowners decide to continue to pursue that. And of course, there continues to be development in this case, but for now, reporting from Northeast DC.
I have had people reaching out to the stores that my products in. I've had people reaching out to the schools that I have mentored girls in. I've had people reaching out to organizations that I've done free events for. Mind you, about 98 to 99% of the work that I have done has been from me. Even when I've needed help, I've helped because I've always thought it's somebody out here worse than me. Today in court, it was proven, or it was admitted, that the false narrative that I have been staying at a place since February and that someone has been trying to get me out since March, it was untrue. It was not true.
How was it not true when they evicted you, honey? How is it not true when it was proven that you didn't pay? You couldn't prove that you paid, so you had to. They evicted you. What's the false narrative? How is it a false narrative? If you actually paid, you could have had proven that, and then maybe it would have been a different story. But they proved you didn't pay a goddamn thing. That's why they had to get you out. Come on now. Let's continue.
The narrative that I had been staying at a place since February and had not made a payment since March, that was also untrue. It was admitted on record that payments had been received up until the end of September. Now, there is a payment in question. Somehow that payment wasn't received. I don't know, but there's a payment there's only one payment in question. So the narrative that I have been staying at a place since March and not making any payments, it was untrue. Documentation was provided that showed that I did not initiate the switching from Airbnb to direct payments to the owner and some scheme to circumvent a process that wasn't the case. Those direct payments were sent, those direct links were sent willingly. Not only willingly, but they were initiated by the other party.
Girl, stop the lies. She just mad she got busted.
Although it was decided that I don't have tenant rights, those things were untrue. And to get on the news to say things that are untrue shows a lot about a person's character and shows that they had malicious intent because they knew it would go off like this.
Okay, here we go once again. Projections. She's projecting what she did. How did the people have malicious intent to evict you when you didn't pay? It's insane. This is another way to try to project some type of blame onto the people and not take any accountability for your actions. Clearly, I wouldn't even made the video. I would have stayed off social media. Once you're busted, you're busted. Keep it moving. Damn, I couldn't lie my way out of this one. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't force the people to make me stay, and I'm not paying. So I'm gonna get on here and try to clear my name and make myself look good and make people think that this was all a sham and a scheme. You know what I mean? To get me out of this place when you didn't pay. That's just simple. And they were able to prove the case. That's why you were evicted, and you were there. She was there for a long time. You got free rent for months and months. Like what else do you want? But once again, this is entitlement. She's crying because she got busted and trying to get people to feel sorry for her. But it was clear that you didn't pay. That's why they evicted you. Let's continue.
And the thing about the truth is that the truth doesn't always, it's not heard as loud as the lie is. So the damage that this has caused, irreparable.
This is crazy.
I'm going to take some time away because, as I said, this has been the hardest. Everything that I do with my business, I do it with love. Everything I do with my nonprofit, I do with love. And I can't do either right now with the amount of pain that is in my heart. To those who waited to make their judgment, to get the facts that the shit just wasn't true, thank you. To the people who made the decision and left comments, the people who know me or who have known me, fuck y'all. And y'all wouldn't say it to my face. I wish, as I always wish, I hope you know love up close. And the thing about it is, when you know love up close, you move differently.
Yeah.
You don't move to find things about somebody and break them down. You don't do that. You don't make fake pages and fake numbers to harass people. You don't do that when you moving with love and when you know love up close. And because I know love up close.
Girl, if you knew love up close, you wouldn't have tried to get over on them damn people. What you mean, what that got to do with it? Knowing love up close, well, you wouldn't have tried to, get over on people. If you really got love in your heart for folks, you wouldn't try to get over on these people. Somebody said in the comments, imagine the pain of the real owner. Exactly. What pain you deal? You got away with free rent for months. You didn't have to pay a damn thing. Went on a vacation. So you was able to live in a place rent free. It was continuously trying to do it. What pain you dealt with? The people who had to pay bills, they had to deal with more than you. The selfishness and the entitlements. I say it all the time. It's insanity, y'all. It's crazy. And we talk about this type of mentality as it deals with, as it relates to men and relationships. But that's why I say it translates, in my opinion, because if you would do this to people, you do this to anybody. You don't give a damn, I'm just, but it's, and they're sitting there crying like, oh my God, woe is me. I'm the problem. They lie, but they had enough evidence to evict me. Oh, I paid every month of the rent. I paid all the months. They just, one payment was in question. So they evicted me for one not paying one time? Maybe.
I know I will be okay. I might not be okay in this moment, but I will be, because I have some people who will make sure that when I'm too deep in the trenches, they pull me out. That's all I got.
Who knows? She might get a GoFundMe. Y'all donating to that? Might go get a GoFundMe. Might could find a few people who feel sorry for her and maybe give us some money to help her find a new place. Man, this is crazy. But this is just one example. I'm not surprised. This is just one example. They find a loophole or a way that they think that they can get over on folks, and they try to do it. And she's not the only one. There's a lot of people out here that's scamming and shamming folks, and they have no care in the world about doing it. As long as they get what they want, that's all that matters. As long as they can continue and walk around like boss chicks and, get their hair and their nails done and, live their best lives and travel and go all over the world and not pay their bills and get away with it, they will. Whilst continuously out here calling men dusty and broke and all this kind of stuff. And while they shamming and scamming folks and getting things for free, they're going to keep doing it. They don't give a damn about your feelings or nobody else's. They're going to use whoever they can to get whatever it is that they want, while telling everybody else, y'all broke and dusty, while you scamming people. But anyway, I'm glad these people got their property back, and hopefully they can move on from this. And I don't know if they're trying to sue her for the unpaid rent or whatever, but they should. And because it's crazy. And anytime people are out here really working, these be the entrepreneurs and boss chicks, but you don't have no money. And then the actual people who have businesses, y'all trying to get over on them. These people own properties and putting their properties on Airbnb, trying to make a living or make money, and this is what they get. Come on now. It just doesn't make any sense. So I'm glad these people got their property. Finally, they got her out of there, because it was a struggle. You get these people in your property and you have to go to court and do all these things to get them out when they're not even paying. And it's sad that you got to go through this whole process to get people out of your property that you own, because they think they can come here and have some type of squatter's rights and sit there and not have to pay anything while enjoying your property. That would piss me off too. I'm just saying, I would be pissed. And it's just crazy.
DeeDeesReactions, tell a friend.